Hello everyone, LadyPhoenix here. Welcome back to some more Final Fantasy VII. So in the previous video, we cleared out the northern cave and gotten everything else and the rest of the enemy skills in the game. And in this video, we are going to take on Ruby Weapon. Now, before we continue or start, you may have noticed that A, I swapped out Yuffie with Red 13. B, both Yuffie and Sid is dead. In order to even damage the darn thing, you have to go in with 2 party members dead. Or it's 1 party member dead and Ruby Weapon will flick out the other party member. Kind of similar to the Midgar Zolom back when I was trying to get the enemy skill beta. And that's in order to damage the guy. Also, physical attacks aren't effective, so you have to go in with your best materia. And speaking of materia, I have Cloud on to my counter, and mime is paired because if we get hit at any point, he will counter with whatever whatever last command I did. So that's first and foremost. The second thing is we have W summon, which we're gonna need, and Hades. Hades doesn't do much in damage wise, but it does paralyze. And Ruby Weapon is susceptible to paralyzation, so that's good. And HP absorb attached to Knights of Round. That is very key. That is going to keep you healthy. Now, I do believe that I don't need Knights of Round mastered in order to do this, because I'm going to really be using this through mine. And because it's not mastered, I will have to go the slightly long drawn out way, which I'll get into later. But that's the materia setup and everything. So once you're ready, just go ahead and approach it. If you don't have a Chocobo, that's fine. You don't need a Chocobo to approach Ruby Weapon. You just need, you can approach it with the high wind as well. So he's going to start the battle off by putting his little handsy wansies into the ground and spawning these tentacle-like things. So once he does that, the Knights of Round and Hades, and I think Cloud is going to try to counter, but there's nothing to counter with, yeah, because I haven't inputted a command yet. So that damage that I took right there is going to be absorbed through the HP absorb materia that's paired to Knights of Round. This guy, Ruby Weapon, gives off the illusion that he's difficult because his moveset is actually pretty predictable, and the fact that you can cast Hades to immobilize him makes him even easier to deal with. So that's okay. The fact that you can paralyze him changes everything. Now, I am running a bit of a risk with this particular setup only because Knights of Round isn't mastered. If, as many of you know, Knights of Round, it takes so much AP to master it. I did manage to get it to level 3, so I can only summon it 3 times, but that's where the mine materia comes into play. I'll be able to imitate without casting that third, without using my usage of not only MP, but also use my amount of times that I can cast it. I'm pretty sure it doesn't apply to that as well. I know for sure it doesn't apply to MP, but I'm pretty sure it doesn't apply to usage if you haven't mastered your materia. Oh, and every time you hit him, I'm sorry, he counterattacks with Ultima, and as you guys just saw, Ultima hits pretty hard, so do be mindful of that. And you can tell by his animation, he is moving slightly, but when he's paralyzed, he'll just freeze up completely. Don't mind his tentacles. His tentacles are going to move regardless, I think. Long as Ruby Weapon itself doesn't move, you're fine. See, he's completely stiff, but his tentacles are still moving, and that's fine. So now at this point, we're gonna mime what we just did, which was Knights of Round and Hades. I don't know if Hades have to be mastered in order to make sure that it's a guaranteed hit. Like, I don't know if there's a certain percentage, like if there's an 80% chance that it will cause paralysis, or if it'll cause paralysis 100% of the time unless the enemy isn't affected by it. I don't know if there's a percentage or a certain algorithm or not with Hades, but I did manage to master Hades off screen because, well, it's easier to master Hades than Knights of Round. Knights of Round is just takes a while for Knights of Round, and you know, I got stuff to do. So yeah, but this is it. This is pretty much the fight. And because I'm miming this isn't gonna affect my MP in no way, shape, or form, because it's literally miming what I just did. Now, as far the only way this is gonna kind of blow up in my face is if it takes away from my usage. I don't know if it takes away from my usage because Knights of Round isn't technically mastered. As you guys just saw, Cloud's ultimate weapon was, it was blue because his HP was lowered at the moment, but it went back to normal. But this is the fight. I'm pretty sure it's not going to do much in damage, that's fine, but it will, we're just miming at this point, so. Oh, he's still paralyzed, and that's fine. And I got my HP back. Oh, he's back. Ow. That's just rude. Now, I can't tell if I'm countering or if I'm miming at this point. We will find out. Actually, we're going to fast forward this just a little bit, guys. I apologize. So even if he counter with Ultima and hit me for 6,000 plus HP, I'll still be good because of the HP absorb onto Knights of Round. Now, it is possible for Ultima to actually miss. That is very possible. Which I find strange, but whatever. Now, I can't remember exactly if you counter. That was a counter, because, and this is a mine. So, counter didn't take away on from my MP. Okay. That's what I was wondering. Now, if you have Knights of Round mastered, in between turns, if you want to, definitely do a W summon Knights of Round twice if you want to do it that way, just to kind of speed through, like every other turn. Like one turn do Knights of Round and Hades, and then the next turn do Knights of Round, then by that time he'll be mobile again, so do Knights of Round Hades, and then Knights of Round. And like I said, you don't have to worry about healing yourself with this particular setup because of HP absorb. And if he does hit you, if you have counter, like I do, ow, then once again, I can't tell if this is a counter or a mine. If you have counter attached to mine like I do, and he hits you, the chances of you countering, especially if you're dealing with master countered materia, are very high. So you're just going to get that HP back. So you having like a cure materia or even a full cure materia is not necessary. The Cynical kind of screwed him up because I'm going to cast Hades after this, and like I said, I'm not sure if this is a counter or a mine. And we're going to do Black Cauldron. So he won't be able to let me see. Yeah, that was a counter. Now, like I said, this is a very long, drawn out. It would be longer if I didn't have the fast forward feature. But we've seen Knights of Round summon animation several times, so I think I can be forgiven for fast forwarding this. It's just that when I do that, the audio is not in sync at all. Are you dead, or you probably not? This thing does have 800,000 HP. And because he has so much AP and HP and takes so many hits to kill this thing, it gives off the illusion that he's hard. But by him being able to get paralyzed by Hades, that changes everything. And then we mine. Ow. And then that's a counter. More than likely, that's a counter. So this is just a repeated cycle. And then, like I said, with HP absorb attached to Knights of Round, that's not gonna do anything but put me back at healthy. So this is what we doing. Like I said, him being weak to Hades effects automatically make him easier than the Emerald weapon, in my opinion. He just takes so much to, die. And my Knights of Round usage should have been over by now. So as long as you're using mine, you're good. Because he's going to go immobile. He's not going to be able to do anything. And then I'm going to actually mime what I just did. There we go. See? Like I said, mime is definitely useful. It's definitely recommended to do the gold Chocobo side quest and get it. Because let me tell you, mime and Knights of Round has saved my life against these super bosses, let me tell you. Because I don't use Knights of Round against Sephiroth. It's really not needed. I literally only use it for the super bosses in the game. Sephiroth does have heavy hitting moves. I mean, obviously so. He's the final boss. But, I mean, it's not super boss territory. Oh, gosh darn, you still alive. Why can't you just, die? Of course, that wasn't going to do anything to you. So we're going to mime. Ow. Not gonna matter because this is under a mime, so I'm gonna have enough MP to cover that, because Knights of Round takes 250 and I think Hades take either 100 or 150. And during this whole process I only used MP usage one time, and that was the very first W summon that I did to get this setup going. Yeah, I definitely ran out of my Knights of Round usage, because I think I can only use Knights of Round 3 times technically, because it's a 3-star materia. So that answers my question. I knew it didn't affect my MP. I wasn't sure about my usage. So I'm still going strong with this. And there it is. Too bad Yuffie and Sid couldn't join in on the fun, but it's all good. 50,000 AP. Man, I get a level up for Knights of Round. That's awesome. And Desert Rose. Now, if you take the Desert Rose back to the Calm Traveler, he'll give you a gold Chocobo as a reward, which is kind of pointless at this point because I got cute little Ignis here. But I'll definitely take the Desert Rose to him after we defeat Emerald Weapon, which is a little bit different than what we've done, and it requires a more craftier setup than what I had. Granted, I did have powerful materia and about 7 materia, if that is all I really needed to get rid of Ruby Weapon, but Emerald is not as exploitable as Ruby. But the good thing is I do have the underwater materia, so no counter, and I also can go in with Sid and Yuffie alive, and honestly Cloud is going to be the star of that. But we'll get off into the setup and Emerald Weapon in the next video. So if you'd like to see more Let's Plays or weekend walkthroughs from the channel, please be sure to click on the links in the description below. But until then, you guys take care and have an awesome day.